Hey folks, Chris once again. Welcome back to another video. This is another request design for Derek. Excuse me. And he wanted me to talk about another movie called The Loved Ones. Now, The Loved Ones is a movie that I've seen at least 5 times. Plus, I watched it a couple weeks ago. So I thought I'd give my review of it because I didn't generally really like this movie. It's basically about this teen kid named... Goddamn it, I'm terrible with names. With Brent, he basically loses his dad in a car accident, and he lives with his mom, and he goes to school, and this girl named Lola asks him if she will take him to the dance, and he's like, no, I have a girlfriend, and she gets pissed. One time he's climbing on a rock or on a mountain, he gets kidnapped, and chaos ensues from there. Before I start the spoiler section of my video, if you've not seen The Loved Ones, I totally recommend it. It is a great movie. It's a good torture movie. If you like stuff like Hostel, the Saw films, even stuff like Martyrs, check this movie out. It's probably better than some of those, actually. But so yeah, you feel bad for this kid, man. There's a scene where he's cutting himself. There's a scene where his dog gets killed. Yes, another dog death in another movie about a female killer, which I wasn't a fan of, but Lola and her father kidnapped the guy, and they basically torture him throughout the movie. Now, the torture isn't that bad, isn't that graphic, but when it does get... some of the torture that's happened is actually kind of intense. It's actually kind of horrific. But the actor playing Lola is really good. Her dad is creepy as all hell. And then she has a grandmother who has a hole in her head. Which I'll get to. And basically, like I said, they torture him because she won't ask him to the dance because he's got a girlfriend. I'm like, why don't you want somebody else? You know, you're hot enough to... you got a hot body. Just ask another boy. It doesn't have to be Brent. But yeah, she's good in this movie though. She basically... First, she threatens to cut his pecker off if he doesn't piss. But he does. They inject his throat with bleach, which is pretty cringy scene if you hate needles. And then there's a scene where they carve his chest like a heart with Lola plus Brent, and they throw salt on him. I think it's salt. Here, salt or fabric softener. They nail his feet to the floor, which is pretty... That made me cringe, man. He kept on hitting. Hit. I'm like, oh my god, stop. The movie just gets crazier and crazier as it goes on, though. There's a scene where he does get free, and he goes up to the tree, knock him down, and tie him back up. That's when they nail his legs to the floor. What else? What else happens? The mom and his girlfriend are trying to find him, but they can't. So he has to figure this out on his own. And basically he does get free again. He knocks the father to the floor, bites out his neck, kills him. Then Lola throws him into this fucking pit. This downstairs pit where there's a bunch of like people she's tortured. Oh yeah, there was a scene where she has a drill and she tries to drill and she drills a hole in his head. It doesn't show much, but it's very effective. And then they're trying to pour bleach or whatever inside their heads to zombify their brain, which is what they did with the grandma. And she killed her by suffocating her with a pillow. I warn you, this is a crazy ass movie. But what happens after that is they actually help him and he gets out of there. And his girlfriend's looking for him in a car. And Lola's just walking down the road, just singing with a box of chocolates. And she basically gets, I think she finds Brent. And, they hit Lola with the car multiple times, kind of like the scene in Jeepers Creepers, or they hit him with a bunch of times as he's still alive. Then she's still crawling with a knife, just getting up to him. But then they hit her and they kill her, finally. And then Brent basically, and Brent and his girlfriend find the mom, and happy ending. But I forgot to say, there's this really unnecessary subplot with one of Brent's buddies and his crush. And she's one hell of a horn dog because she was grabbing his junk at a dance. She was drinking alcohol. She was taking his shirt off. Very, very, her hormones are definitely there and present. But yeah, didn't care for that. I did like his friend. It just didn't really seem like a very important scene to put in the movie, but yeah. But that's basically the whole movie in a nutshell. I think it's really good. Lola is definitely a good villain, but I would like to see a sequel. She's dead, so we might not get a sequel. Maybe a prequel, maybe? They did it with Orphan, they could do it with Lola. But yeah. I like it. Definitely one of the better torture movies. People call these movies torture porn. I don't think that term is necessary. It's just a bit of a torture movie. It's not as graphic or as grotesque as movies like the Saw films or the Hostel movies, but it's damn near close, up there with those. One of the better torture movies. I like the first two Hostels. I hate the third one. I love all the Saw movies besides the last one. Was it Spiral, whatever it's called? But yeah, good movie. Recommend it. Not much for gore, but there is gore in this movie, but it's very minimal. But that's fine because for people who want to watch a torture movie without much violence, this is a movie for you. But I must warn you, there are some pretty horrific scenes. The grandma being suffocated, the dog being killed, the sound he makes whenever he gets the bleach pour into his throat. I mean, it's still scary, but not near as graphic as Saw or Hostel. But it's a good movie. I recommend it. I give it like a 8 out of 10. But yeah, so with that said, guys, thanks for watching. Take care, and stay tuned for the next video. Bye.